Okay, now it's time for Scorpio in May. Sorry, just had to have a swig of coffee. All right, Scorpio in the month of May. Last month was a little bit challenging in the middle, but this month I think you've got a bit more to... Oh, hello, Empress. I'll pop her back, see if she comes out again. All right, Scorpio, May, using the numerical spread, past, present, future. Where's your head at? Where's your body at? And what are the roots of all of this? So, where's your head at? Where's your body at? What's at the root of it? Head at, body, and root. Head at, body, and root. Okay, let's see. King of Wands, Hanged Man. This Cups card has been coming up a lot. Okay, the rest is quite different to other people. Very different cards. That's a reoccurring theme. That must be a worldwide theme, I think. Okay, beginning of the month sees you observing. We've got observations here, so you sort of in the words of Minnow Pond of Chris Reck, is the juice worth the squeeze, reflecting on the hard labor you've put in to create some kind of level of abundance. It doesn't have to be money, but it could be security or well-being. And I guess where your head's at, I don't think you feel so secure. You're still doing the preemptive raid on the army and taking away their weapons so that you've got an upper hand in the fight. So you feel like you're not necessarily cruising into victory, but having to be very strategic. So the beginning of the month sees you being reflective and strategic, looking at what are your options. So, looking. Middle of the month is a time for, I suppose, retrospection. Stop and pause, get a different perspective. You do have the sense of security and the potent power is the words I'm getting. You do have the potent power to pull this off. And I always find this card so similar. I even get them confused. He's sort of preemptively stealing the swords so that he can potentially beat this army here. This guy's already defeated people. They're kind of off crying, and he's collecting the rewards of his fight or battle. And he's got a bit of a smirk on his face. He's feeling quite good. So beginning of the month feels you feeling a little bit sneaky, that you've got to kind of get in there and set it up for success. Middle of the month feels like you were successful. This is how you're thinking, by the way. And at the end of the month, you feel like you've got the opportunity to make some choices. This is where your head's at. Your body, on the other hand, is feeling quite reflective. Look at you. You're looking down, looking away. And there is that level of spilt milk over here. So beginning of the month sees you sort of casing the joint almost, casing out what's happening. Middle of the month sees you, even though you've got all these sort of preemptive head thoughts and the quite strong cards down the bottom, the middle of the month still leaves you feeling like you have to look for something more. There's something else you're not seeing that you haven't connected with yet. And I guess that feeling, you've got this, but I don't think you've got it. End of the month, you're feeling disappointed. You're ready to make some choices and that, but you don't feel like you've actually got the opportunities. There's something that you're not seeing that will take you to this sort of level of abundance and prosperity in your understanding of yourself. So I would say that beginning of the month, reflective, trying to shore up the situation and make sure it will be successful. The middle of the month, still having that battle, still trying to enable or ensure that success. And at the end of the month, even though you're feeling that you can make some choices now and that it is in a safe, You know, the Queen is, she's reflecting on her abundance, on all the things she has. She wants for naught. In this beautiful field, got hair over here, sort of fertility and stuff. So at the end of the month, even the root of it is that you actually are fine, but you still haven't got your head in the right head space. All right, let's see what the numerical cards say for a bit of, clarification. Got combinations. So some clarification for, who are we doing? We're doing Scorpio. Sorry, Scorpio. I forgot who I was doing. So lots of self-reflection. If I look at your astrology, it says the same. Lots of self-reflection. You can unlock your true potential and find some greater sense of self-acceptance. So perhaps this abundance comes from a sense of knowing yourself, a sense of greater development. So even though you're trying to shore up and control and make sure it all works out, you're still feeling a little bit iffy and not really connected. Behind where your head's at and the root of all of this is fine. Like you're okay, but your headspace is not in, you haven't got there yet. The end of the month, I think, leaves you wanting more information. So I think you're going to have to deal with more in the next month after that. Okay, let's do a 3 cut. Let's see a little bit more clarification from the numerical deck. So what do we got? Okay, so the best card in the deck, the Loving Master, or the Master Teacher, 33. Nature's Guide. So you got the end and the beginning of the deck. Oh, and Higher Road. So if this is about emotions, this is about learning, this is about self-understanding and self-wisdom. So if we look at this a little differently now, okay, that gives me heaps more clarification. What have we got? We've got 7s, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. And 7s are about being analytical, and we can see that. It's about mystery and doing the research. So it looks to me as if you've done the research, you've put in the preemptive orders, you're really being observant and quite calculating, and it comes from a reflection of, what am I doing? Is it worth it? Where can I take this? And know that the Loving Master has your back. 33, if we look at the number 33, it's about compassion, healing, spiritual guidance, education, love, old truths, wisdom. Okay, so I think this is very much about you and self-love and self-reflection, and you trying to pull something off. And you've been quite masterful about your reflection. I think you're doing a very good job, but I don't see that you have the resolution that you're really looking for, because you have this sort of end of cycle, beginning of cycle, and then this sort of card that adds extra potential to the cards around it. So we've got some 5s as well. And if we look to 5s are all about ability, diversity, movement, which is sort of what you're trying to do. You're setting everything up. It's with deep faith and for new beginning and a new endeavor. Even though you feel like you've had a bit of success in your head, you're still left pondering about where all this strength will come. Nature's Guide says, get out in nature, look to nature for learning. So what part of the evolutionary road trip are you missing? This is Nature's Guide. Is when you go into nature, you reflect, you contemplate. There's lots of blue. So I'd say that Nature's Guide is about reconnecting with nature. Maybe when you reconnect nature, you've got lots of water. Maybe water is where you've got to go, or by the sea. So sort of in the middle of the month when you're reflecting, go and sit in some nature. Go and look to nature to be a bit of an educator for you. I'm not sure where that's going. But as I said, at the end of the month, even though you are psychologically prepared and, the world or the universe is supporting you, you still don't come to a final outcome. And even getting a 0 means that it's not really a final outcome. Now, higher road means to pick the higher ground, take the higher moral ground. Don't make decisions just based on a sense of lack or less thanness. It's about moving forward and making decisions. And there is a cycle. There's like putting something into practice, achieving and working hard. And then on this side is the fallout or the result. So I see that sort of the grey card and this card are linked in together. So at the end of the month, I don't think you're going to feel so crash hot. But I do think that this work is important but this is going to go on for a little bit longer. So keep on making the right decisions for you. Make them out of a sense of moral obligation. Don't just make them because you want or need in that moment, because as you can see here, there's a lot more thinking and a lot more going on underneath the surface. All right, good luck, Scorpio.